One of St. John Fisher's lesser-known memorials was rededicated at 12:30 p.m. on Sunday, April 29th. The Peace and Justice Lion is a statue dedicated to the memory of Jennifer Patterson Kuhn, and until recently, it had no plaque or inscription about what it is and why it's there. Jennifer was a sophomore at St. John Fisher College until her death in 1993. The Peace Lion is meant not only to represent Jennifer's spirit, but also that of the community in St. John Fisher as well. The ceremony began with a reading of Proverbs 28. The wicked flee though no one pursues, but the righteous are as bold as a lion. And this was followed by a group reading of a simple prayer for peace. Afterwards, friends and relatives took turns blessing the statue with holy water and sharing stories of Jennifer and the work the Kuhn family has done to better the community. Jennifer's father, David Kuhn, served as a state assembly representative from 1996 to 2010. Jason Kuhn, Jennifer's brother, also served as the mayor of East Rochester from 2007 to 2011. The Kuhn family manages the Jennifer Patterson Kuhn Peacemaking Foundation, a foundation that is dedicated to celebrating St. John Fisher students who display the same qualities as Jennifer did in life. The foundation also sponsored Friar Dan Horan to come to the Fisher campus and give his presentation of Martin, Malcolm, and Merton, the work for racial justice and the responsibility of the Catholic spirituality. Friar Horan is a Franciscan friar of Holy Name Province and was the first one to bless the statue. He spoke briefly of the need for peace in our community and nation. Also in attendance was this year's recipient of the Jennifer Patterson Kuhn Courage Award, Claire Sauter. Several members of the Fisher faculty were instrumental in organizing the rededication, including Professor of Philosophy Tim Madigan, Professor of Religious Studies Dr. Linda McCammon, and former Director of Community Service Sally Vaughn. They each had a little bit to say about the foundation and the work they do for the community.
And it was really about a program, having a program to celebrate her life, but also recognize a student here at St. John Fisher who represented the same qualities that Jennifer had. So we had to, we were constantly reviewing and encouraging certain qualities that, she was welcoming to others, a great listener, friendly. She was a quiet leader. She was quiet, so she wasn't super outgoing or anything, but she was always helping the underdog, seeing somebody who needed some help, and she would be there for them. So, Claire Sauter was selected as the winner, and I've just known her for 4 years, and I just see her step up all the time.
She's fantastic.
Can anybody help out with this, or can anybody help out with that? And Claire shows up, and it's like, Claire again? It's like, Claire?
There was nothing to commemorate it. It was just out there, and this because the monument had been moved, right? It was originally. Where was it originally? It was down
in the lawn down here.
Yeah. And we weren't aware. And one day it just was moved, and it's been up there ever since. And so you walk by it, as you say, you walk by it, and you have no way of knowing what is it. It's very pretty. It's very colorful. What does it stand for? Well, it stood for a fantastic young woman whose life was tragically cut short. She was murdered. And her parents, of course you can imagine, were completely devastated by this. But as I think Rick said so well at the ceremony, instead of just curling up and just trying to live with your grief, David Kuhn got involved in politics. And then they brought the fund and the Peace Fund here, trying to nurture what Jennifer's life was all about. And to honor it in others. And that's why someone like Claire is such a great recipient of the Courage Award, because she does demonstrate those quiet qualities of leadership that certainly Jennifer represented. I did not have the honor to know the young woman. I got to know her through participating with Sally in the selection process and learning about her story. And she really is a role model for all Fisher students. Wonderful young woman.
Yeah, I would just add, I too unfortunately didn't know Jennifer, but I certainly knew the story, and I knew that the lion was connected with honoring her, but I didn't know why. So we contacted Liz Durant, who she and her students had designed the lion, and that's when Linda and I thought, there really should be a plaque so that not only do people know who she was and why she's being honored, but what the lion is all about. And once you see that, I mean, I didn't even know until I read the description that there was the dove of peace on the forehead and the flowers coming up. So it's really a very fascinating piece of art.
I mean, the students, that's another thing that's so wonderful about this, is that Fisher's students designed and painted this lion.
Yeah.
It's just quite amazing. So she said that when the St. John Fisher College students who created the Lion for Peace and Justice began the project, they had a number of attributes and symbols in mind. The lion's multicolored mane represents diversity. Rising from the earth are various shades of green and images of plant life suggesting growth and vitality. These colors meld into shades of blue that symbolize water, sky, and clouds. An abstract dove of peace rests on the lion's forehead, calling forth peaceful thoughts. The golden gleam in his eye represents hope, and I believe the student artists achieved the right balance of strength and peace. And as Liz pointed out, the lion also has a heart. So you have all these wonderful symbols that really represented this young woman and her friends, the people who knew her and other students at Fisher. They designed this lion, and so it really is a symbol of the entire Fisher community.
It's a random act, and I think Linda makes a good point about her father turned that around in that he got into politics. And he said not only would he, affect Fisher and the Rochester community, but he would make a difference in New York State. And so, he was in the Assembly for years at St.JohnFisher of the Courage Award. We were invited to go to Albany and sit in on a session and so on. So, I mean, he was really into education and keeping Jennifer alive. It was at the SGA Awards, and when she received the award, it was like, what is this? And so she went and researched it and so on. So,
That's so clear,
yeah,
isn't it?
She said she had no idea what it was, and there wasn't too much of a blurb about it, and but I mean, it really is, and it's perfect for her, isn't
Yes,
it?
it's so perfect for her. But you know how it is here. There's so much going on, so much of the time, and it's really hard to keep up with it all. And there's so many things that, this campus does a lot of good work, in the community, right here on the campus. And it really is hard sometimes to keep track of it all.